Say hello to my cute little kitty cuties, all made on my 3D printer. Kinda cute. I just question the color green. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, December the 14th, 2020, vlog number 197, and the 278th day of COVID. Becoming pretty much the norm, isn't it? Unfortunately. So, just before I get started here, I do my vlogs first thing Monday mornings. Right now, as I'm recording this, it is 7:26 a.m. And of course, I usually have to go onto YouTube just to check a few things to put into my vlog. And this morning, YouTube was not responding, which is a rarity. Now, at first I thought it might have been something wrong with my system, but I don't think it is because I tried it on my cell phone as well and on my iPad, and nothing will connect to YouTube. So there's definitely a problem with YouTube. Now, does that present a problem for you? Not really, because if you're seeing this, that means that the problem has been resolved. And I suspect it will be very soon. YouTube certainly won't let itself go down for too long. However, having said that, this YouTube or this vlog may not come out until later today, depending on when I can get a connection to YouTube again. Okay, moving on. So, what have I been working on? Well, you saw my little kitty cats in the teaser already. I'm going to talk a little bit more about those later on. But right now, what's hanging right behind me is something that I've been actually working on for a year. Not that it would take a year to make this, but these are the dime doors. You've heard me talk about them, seen some of them before in both my vlog and on the Idiot Quilter. And these are provided by Designs in Machine Embroidery, which is an embroidery company in the States. And every month this past year, they've had a door of the month. And each door represents something significant to that month. Like, for example, we have March has a St. Patrick's theme to it. There's a Halloween one down here somewhere. You probably can't see it, it's off screen. You know, the summertime. All of these things have something to do with that month. And they're free. You download them, the files, and put them on your embroidery machine and do them. Now, they originally designed these to fit on a little display rack. So each month you could hang a new one and sort of switch them out. But I decided that when I got them all, and I now have them all 12 of them, you're only seeing 9. There's 2 more down here. There's the last 2. Okay, that was going to make it into a wall hanging. Excuse me, a little frog there, and I did. Now I did this in the style of what's called an attic window. It didn't really work out the way I wanted it to work out. I've done an attic window style before. It looks basically you take a panel, and I did this with a Santa Claus wall hanging that I made a month or so ago, and it's hanging up now for my Christmas decorations, and I showed that to you. And what it looks like, it gives you the illusion that you're looking out through a window and you see the scene. The problem with this is, that's what I thought it would look like, but I didn't really think it through all the way. Because each one of these is a separate little panel, it's not like you're looking out of a window, because there isn't really a continuous picture. But nevertheless, it borders each of the pieces well, I think. And yeah, it's still, I think it turned out kind of nice. And it's going to hang, I have to figure out where I'm going to hang it in my house on a more permanent display. But anyways, it took a year because I had to collect all of those doors, and now it's done. So, another project down for 2020. Okay. What else? Oh, I've got to grab them. Just give me a second. I have to take my microphone off. Talk among yourselves. Okay, hope you had a nice little discussion while I was gone. So, my art journaling group, I'm still getting a few things from them for Christmas. You know, we were sharing a Christmas card that we made ourselves, and then, of course, ATCs. So another one of my members in my group, the art journaling group, sent out hers. These are Darla's. And you can see we've got 9 months worth of ATCs here. They are really, really nice. I'm still working on an idea as to how I can preserve these and put them on display as well. And I've got a couple of ideas, but right now I have no bulletin board space. I'm looking over at the far side where there's a huge bulletin board and there's nothing on it except ATCs from this group. And I have another one over here and another one over here, and they're all solidly filled with ATCs. So, you know, now they put them in these little pockets. The idea is you put them in a binder and you can leaf through them. But you want to know something? If I do that, I'll put the binder on the shelf and then it'll never see the light of day again. I want them out in the open, you know, because they add so much to my room. But I'll have to look around for another area, another space where I can hang these up. And here's Darla's Christmas card. Slimline cards, that's what they call this style, are basically on trend right now. And the ladies in my group are all loving this format. And so they're making their cards in that. And it's very, very nice. The whole foiling, the die cut words, the whole bit, the little gifts. Very, very attractive. And the inside too. And again, that's a die cut. And I'm sure that die cut took quite a while to do, because when you cut things this small, you usually have to bump out the little pieces as well. And she wrote me a little personal message, which is really nice as well. So beautiful. Again, these cards are on display, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I'm not getting rid of them at the end of the season, but got to figure out a way to do that. If anybody's got any ideas, feel free to put them in the comments below. Okay, and now I'm going to show you my 3D printed objects. Now, for you who do not have a 3D printer or whatever, or have no interest in having a 3D printer, these won't mean anything to you. Essentially, the items you make with a 3D printer are not really practical. There are some things you can make that are practical. For example, we needed a part for an old SodaStream thing that had broken off. Walter found actually the part that someone had made for 3D printing, and I have printed out, but he hasn't put it in the old SodaStream. Now, we bought a new SodaStream. Do we need 2 SodaStreams? No, but it's more or less to see, will this work? It's still part of the experiment, right? So yes, there are practical things you can make with a 3D printer. Most people who are into 3D printing seem to print figurines. Figures from Star Wars and Star Trek and science fiction things, and all those kind of fantasy figures and things like that, which is fine. And then of course I think they paint them, and they're very serious about their hobby with that. I did see that there are a whole bunch of like houses and buildings that have been designed that you can print out. Little miniature village kind of a thing. I might try to print one of those out just to see. The only thing about those is you'd have to paint them. I'm a little hesitant about that because it takes me back to my days when I was a kid and painted, plastic models that used to make. And my plastic models were usually covered in a lot of glue. And my paint jobs on them was not very good. So I kind of stay away from that. But hey, it's all an experiment. It's all just for fun, so I'm going to give that a try. But anyways, as I was saying, these little figurines. Well, I found these pussycats, which you saw in the teaser. I thought they were really cute. Now, they're actually twice. They were designed twice the size that you see here, but I thought if this doesn't work out, I don't want to waste a lot of my filament. So I reduced it by 50%. So basically, if I had done them in the original design, these would be twice the size. And they're really quite cute. Now you're going to say, but why did you do your cats in green? Well, they weren't supposed to be. I saw the original picture of these in rainbow colors, and it looked really cool. I have a roll of filament that is rainbow colored. Well, it doesn't work very well. And what I mean by that is, it's like you get a length of the filament is one color, then it changes to another color, and so on. But those lengths are very, very long. So you see down here at the bottom where it started to print, it started to print it in this shade of green. But the green eventually evolved into this shade of yellowish green. And that's where it ended up. Now, maybe if I'd left this at double its size, I might have got more colors in it. But I'm kind of disappointed in that rainbow stuff. I've printed other things too, and it seems to take forever to change to the next color. I don't know if there's other ones on the market that are better than that the frequency is less. I'll have to do some research in it. But that's the one thing about 3D printing. Really, you can only print in one color. Now, that's not completely true. I could print this in several different colors. I would have to pause the printer, change out the filament, at least this is a theory, I haven't tried this yet, put in another color filament, and away you go. And, you know, in the process of doing that, things could go very much awry. So I haven't tried that yet, but again, maybe I should. I did see a video where somebody did it and explained how they did it, so, you know, I'll review that and maybe I'll give that a try. But then that means you've got to be near your printer to do those swap outs, and so you either have to figure it out through the what they call the slicing hardware, which basically takes a model. This is called a model, and it divides all out into all of its layers, and there's quite a few layers, and something like this probably had 1,000 layers with it, because each layer is only minuscule in height, like 0.2 millimeters or something like that. So that's small. So, you know, you'd have to kind of work it out in the software when approximately you would change it, and if you're not by the machine at the time, it'll just carry on and you'll miss your opportunity. So I don't know. Lots of things go in my head with this, and this is what I like about 3D printing. It's given me a new inspiration for things, and we can always use that, right? So anyways, yes, you can make figurines, and some people have made really nice looking vases and bowls and things like that as well, and I want to try some of those too. I still want to do the Eiffel Tower. And I did some things, and I'll talk about that later, to my 3D printer where I think I might be able to be successful with that, because I haven't been successful with it so far. So I've made that. I think I showed you the Altoid tin that I made before. Well, and I also showed you this paint palette that drops into it, but this doesn't drop into it. This is just slightly too big for this. So I have gone into my slicer program, and I have made this slightly bigger. I increased it by 2%. With my theory is that then one of these would fit in. I also found one that prints a little tray like this. Same problem. It doesn't fit in this Altoid tin. Now, this and this other were designed to actually fit in real Altoid tins, and I have tried it and they do. But I think why it doesn't fit into this one is because of the thickness of the interior walls. Okay, I think the person who designed this, well, they obviously designed it for thinner walls because the tin is thinner than the plastic. So anyways, I think I can do that and give it a try. And when I get that figured out, what am I going to do with them? I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking they might make a cute little box for, you know, sewing notions and things like that, like a sewing kit or whatever, just a little storage box. I'm debating what I would do with the cover. I could do some sort of collage work on it. I could do some paint pouring on it. There are other things, but we'll see. I'm still playing with it. Other practical things are something like this weird looking thing. And you're going to say, what the heck is that? Well, actually, this is a stand for an iPhone or for your phone. You just slip it in here and then you have a stand, and it spins around, and you know, actually kind of cute. But I don't like the design. I tried it with my phone. Just let me see. I'll show you what I mean. So your phone supposedly slips in here, like that. There you go. And then you can, move it around. Now, it's fairly stable when it's on your desk and that, but I just don't like it. It looks a little flimsy. So I did print out another style. Let me grab it here. Now, this was a partial print because I ran into a problem when it was getting close to the top, so this is supposed to be taller. It's very rough down here. It moved off my 3D printer bed. When that happens, oh, you have problems. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but the idea of this, it's got little grooves here, and this can work for a phone, or it can work for an iPad, which this is more the style that I like, because it's a little bit more versatile. And I may reprint that one. Maybe today I'll try it and see what happens with that. Now, other practical things. A battery holder. Okay, I buy AA batteries and AAA batteries in bulk, pretty much, because everything needs batteries, right? So when I'm at Costco, I usually pick up a package of about, 20 or 30, how many they have in it. But the packages they put them in are blister packs, and as soon as you open it up, you've got batteries everywhere. And I have a desk drawer that's full of loose batteries floating all over the place, and it's just a mess. And I'm the kind of person that doesn't like a mess. So I found this design, which holds 16 AA batteries very neatly. There's a little hole down in here, and this fits right in my drawer very neatly and nicely. And so I made another one that fits AAA batteries, same design. And then there was one that you could create, this little cute thing. It says 2032 on it, which is not a year. It's the size of batteries. It has this little lid. Now the lid fits fairly tight, but the more you use it, the looser it becomes. And it'll hold, I think it's 10 of those little disc batteries. I don't know how you get them out. There you go. These. And I use quite a few of these as well, especially for those little LED lights I use on my Christmas creations. So it's just cute. Really cute. I'm into cute for these things. So yes, there are practical applications as well. So that's what I've been doing with the 3D printer. I've been having a lot of fun and a lot of frustration with it. And I'm going to say a little bit more about that at the risk of boring you to tears later on in today's vlog. But right now, let's move on to the YouTube video of the week. And it's actually not a video again this week, it is a playlist. This week's YouTube channel is another playlist, a playlist of Christmas movies. Did you know that you can get full-length Christmas movies for free on YouTube? Yes, you can. And they have all the kinds of ones that you remember from your childhood, traditional Christmas movies. They also have some of the newer ones and a lot of the Hallmark Christmas movies, which I know a lot of people really like. They're free. The full version, no commercials. Well, there may be some of the internet or the YouTube type commercials on there, but you can skip over them. All you have to do is type in YouTube search engine Christmas movies full length, and you'll find a whole list of everything. So why not try out some Christmas movies for free? So you will find a sample of the YouTube Christmas playlist of movies, and there's lots of them, in my show notes below to get you started. And also in my show notes, there will be the Stephen and Walter Live, the latest edition of that. The notes will be there. Or not notes, but the links, you know what I mean. There's an episode of The Idiot Quilter I did last week, episode 92, where I talk about my future projects and things I've been working on again there. And the book of the week is there. Now, there's something else you're going to find in the resource list. Next Sunday, December the 20th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when we usually do Stephen and Walter Live, we are doing our S&W Live Christmas Zoom party. So there is a link for that, and most people have used Zoom now, so they know how that works. You just click on that link a few minutes before the scheduled time for the Zoom meeting, and you're in. You won't need a password. I will have a waiting room, which means basically I admit you in. That's just a safeguard in case we get some trolls in there. And to date, I haven't had any problem with trolls. So knock wood. Now watch. We'll get all kinds of trolls on this one. But it's a Christmas party. So on that one, what we're going to be doing is just basically partying. So wear something festive, drink something festive, eat something festive, be festive, bring a festive story to tell if you wish, something maybe that comes from Christmas past. Maybe there's traditions in your household you'd like to talk about. Maybe you've got a favorite Christmas decoration that has a story behind it for why it's your favorite Christmas decoration. It can be anything. Now, we're going to keep all those short because we could be there all night. And if we are, we are. But that's not the intent of this. We're going to play a couple of games as well, I hope, as long as screen sharing works out on this. I have to do some experiments this week, but I think pretty much I can get it to work all right. So have a pen or pencil and a piece of paper handy as well. Just something a little bit different, just for fun, and we'll just let it go. I'm trying to talk Walter into making a special Christmas cocktail that he will do live during the broadcast. I'm actually going to try and set up a couple of cameras that I can switch to for things as well for this. So I don't know, this could be a complete disaster. Well, I don't think it'll be a complete disaster because we've done Zooms before. So, but it's something different, and I hope you will join in with us. So the link is in the show notes, and there will be a link for it in Stephen and Walter Live when you go to that, once I can get onto YouTube today and put that in there. And there will be, if I do an idiot Quilter episode this week, and I'm pretty much planning to do one, there'll be the link there. So you're going to hear this again multiple times this week. I think I will even put up in about the middle of the week a special little short announcement about it, like I do when I do my little announcement every week for our live. So there'll be lots of places where you'll be able to find the link. So I hope you'll join us for that as well. And don't feel that you need to stay for the whole thing. You don't. And if you're a little bit late coming in, that's okay. Come in whenever for it. It's kind of, think of it as an open house drop-in kind of thing. Okay? All right. So where's that taking us to? Yeah, what's pissing me off this week? Okay, let's bring it down, shall we? Okay, I'm sorry, I am going to talk about COVID. But I am really upset right now. I'm upset with Canada, with Canadian people in particular, especially Canadian people that live out west. Sorry to my people who live out in Western Canada. We heard on the news that in Edmonton, Alberta, there was a group of anti-maskers who were threatening and getting physically violent with shop owners because the shop owners were demanding that they wear a mask in order to come into their store. Now, Alberta has not been in lockdown until now. They have been far behind the country, sorry to say, but in terms of dealing with COVID effectively, if you can deal with COVID effectively. Here in Ontario, we're used to wearing masks everywhere. It is now part of our fashion sensibilities. But out west, they're just getting that now. But there's these people, again, the anti-maskers, who feel that their personal rights are being violated and it's unconstitutional. Well, first of all, it's not unconstitutional because there's nothing in our Constitution that says you have the right or the right to refuse to wear a mask. So really get off that bandwagon. And you've heard me say this before, so I don't need to belabor it, but if you choose not to wear a mask, then you choose to die. As Walter puts it, those people who choose not to wear a mask and get COVID should pay for the hospital bill. It shouldn't come out of our provincial budgets and things like that, out of our tax money to support them, because they are willingly putting themselves into the face of danger. They're idiots. But the problem I have with this situation, and we've had anti-maskers out here in Toronto area and that as well, but the problem I have with this situation is they've turned violent. And they're going after shopkeepers. Come on. Pick your target. It's not the shopkeepers. The shopkeepers are upholding what the provincial government has said they should be doing and what the health authorities have said to do. They're being good citizens. Sure, they want your business. Of course they want your business. But they can still do business, but do business with masks and social distancing. So why are these people turning their anger onto the shopkeepers? That's not right. And that's not Canadian. That's not how we do things in this country. We don't. We are known around the world for being fairly peaceful people. Our military usually goes into war-torn countries and things like that and try to help with the peace process. We support other countries. We go in with relief for other countries when it's needed after natural disasters or war or strife, conflict, that kind of stuff. We are known for that. We are not known for being a violent bunch of people. In fact, if anything, people characterize us as always saying, sorry. So I find this shocking. This is not the Canadian way. We may grumble, we may bitch about something we don't like, but we do not turn to violence. So why are these people thinking they need to turn to violence? If this was Chicago, if this was California, if this was Washington, D.C. or something like that, and yes, I am bringing up the states, we would think nothing of it in terms of, oh yeah, that's the Americans. I'm sorry, but there we go. But yeah, that's what we see on the news. Whether it's exaggerated or whatever, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't shock us. But to have it happen here in our country, I'm just flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted. It makes me sad to say that I am a Canadian. I am a proud Canadian. I am glad I am a Canadian. And one of the reasons why I'm glad I'm a Canadian is because we are more diplomatic. We are peacekeepers. We do not resort to violence. Well, that's just all gone out the window, isn't it? Thank you, anti-maskers, you stupid bunch of asshole idiots. Yes, you are. You're stupid asshole idiots. So, we're going into Christmas. It's been a bad year. Could we not go into Christmas and find some joy? And then you hear this kind of thing, and it makes you want to cry. It does. It really does. Because it's a suggestion here that humanity is on the rocks. We have no redeeming graces anywhere. It's very, very sad, to say the least. I hope that the Alberta government gets some of these people, arrests them, puts them in jail and throws away the key. I really do. But you want to know something? That won't happen. That won't happen. But in my imagination, I know what I would do to them. Oops. In my imagination, I've become violent. No. Not the way to go. I'm a Canadian. We don't resort to that kind of thing. So, anyways, I had to share that. I know it's a downer on this. We'll move on to other topics here. But come on, people, use your common sense. Shopkeepers are not the enemy here. The enemy is the virus. Okay, so basically, it's people who kill, not COVID. And why do I say that? Because COVID wouldn't have the ability to kill other people if we follow the health regulations, if we wear our masks, if we only go out for essential items. if we keep social distancing, if we don't have large parties and gatherings that are all going to happen come Christmas. So it's not the virus that kills, it's people kill because they're spreading the virus. And they don't need to spread it. It's just stupidity like those ones in Edmonton going after the shopkeepers and not wearing their masks. It's the stupidity that kills, not the virus. So I hope everybody keeps that in mind with Christmas coming up. And you've heard me say it before. One Christmas that's not completely traditional is, and I was going to say won't kill us, will help us from dying. Okay? And will help us to wipe out this disease if we all keep our distance. There is hope on the horizon. They have some vaccines. It's going to take some time with all of that, but there is hope. So do not fall into despair. Don't resort to violence. That won't solve anything. Just follow the rules for a little bit longer and we'll get through this thing. Okay, let's move on to Adventures in Book Binding. And this is the book of the week. And if you're interested in making books, and I always am, then a book like this will be very helpful because it basically shows you all the tools and methods for binding books. And this is, of course, built on the professional level of bookbinding, like sewn bindings and things like that. But there's all kinds of different things you can do with a sewn binding and different mixed media techniques you can do as well. So lots and lots of ideas, very clear instructions, lots of illustrations showing you step by step how to do these things. So this book, when I bought it, was $27.99 Canadian. In US money, it was $24.99 at the time, and in UK, it was £16.99, for lack of a better term. So, a really good book is by Janine Stein, and I did look it up on Amazon. Now the price has gone up. Okay, it's $39.95 plus shipping, so it's pricey. It is pricey, but if you're really serious about getting into bookbinding and learning the proper techniques and variations on those techniques, then this book is the one for you. Okay, and there's, in the show notes below, there is a listing for it on Amazon. Okay, so speaking of making books and things, well, I'm without a project this week. I haven't started anything new in a mixed media. So I was looking through, last week I told you about this book, Rebound. And I was looking through this, kind of revisiting it, because I forgot I had it. And I found this idea, Woven Ticket Mini Book. You essentially take a roll of tickets, you know, the kind of tickets you know, if you were at a party or something, they were selling liquor tickets or things like that. And you do a weaving technique and you make it into a little book. And I thought this might be a nice little mini project to try. And of course, it's all very detailed here. And what do you know? I just happen to have a couple of rolls of tickets that I bought. I think I bought them at the dollar store a long time ago for some purpose. And they're sitting in my cupboard. So I thought, hey, why not get them out and give this a try? Now, I'm thinking that's the basics of it, but can I do something even more with it? So I'm not sure when I'm going to start this. I did say last week that I was going to start a new project until after Christmas, and that may still be true. But when I get a little bored with 3D printing and quilting, I might go off and try something with this idea. So, nothing this week to show you with a project, but soon I will have a new one that I'm working on. You see, I have so many of these albums and journals and things that I have made. Right now I'm just looking beyond you, and on my shelf I have a basket full of them. And that's where they said, what am I going to do with them? I don't actually use these journals, okay? I make them, I like making them, and then I don't know what to do with them. I suppose I could give them away to people, but right now it's not a very convenient time for that. The other reason I don't give them to people is because I'm afraid they'll fall apart. Yeah, I mean, I'm very careful when I make them and everything like that, but they are made of paper, so they could fall apart, and I don't want to give something to somebody that's going to fall apart. I really don't know what to do with them. I have thought about giving them to you. Having a little contest every week or something like that, and I send you out one of the albums. But the same thing. To get them to you so that they're safe, they have to be wrapped up very carefully, and that makes them bulkier. And quite frankly, the cost to ship them in different parts of the world, even shipping them within my own country, is fairly expensive. So, and I'm cheap. You've heard me say that before. So that's really not an alternative. Now, somebody said to me one time you should sell them on, Etsy or something like that. Yeah, no, I don't want to start up an Etsy shop because that's fairly involved. And again, the same thing. When you're charging money for things like these, people expect a certain quality. And in my mind, these aren't at that quality. They're great to give as a gift, I think, but to sell them, no. And again, you've got the shipping thing and whatnot. I wouldn't even know what to charge for them. And the more you charge for them, the more people expect, and rightly so, I suppose. So there they sit. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Well, they're fun to make. So anyways, so stay tuned. In next week or in a few weeks' time, I may have something as a new project to show you, to work through. Okay, so that takes us to my 3D printer. All right, I don't want to bore you to tears with this because if you're not interested in 3D printing, you may just want to fast forward past this section of it. You know how fascinated I am with it. Well, I've also learned a few things. I've had to buy a few parts for it. Like, basically, they're upgrades. I've had some problems with filament jamming. So the other day, I bought and got a better type of tube. They call it a Bowden tube. A Bowden tube is basically a piece of Teflon tubing that the filament feeds through. After doing some research, I found out that the filament or the Bowden tube that comes with your 3D printer may not be quite the right size. It's kind of cheap. So I bought something that costs a little bit more money, not a lot more, but a little bit more that everybody seems to think works really well. And yes, it does. But I had to install that on my printer. Now, it's not a hard thing to do, but it is a fiddly thing to do. But I did install that, and that improved things greatly. The other thing is bed leveling. And this is the bane of existence for 3D printers. If your bed isn't perfectly level, you're going to have problems with your prints adhering to the bed of it. And there's different methods you can use. A lot of people use glue stick for it. And that's what I've been using as well. But I did find out several things about cleaning the plate and about making things adhere to it better and the bed leveling that have been very, very helpful. So that's great. There are upgrades you can get for your 3D printers. Some of them involve electronic parts. I kind of shy away from that because there is things you have to do, and I don't know if I can do that or not. I probably can. It's just that I'm a little afraid that I'll screw something up, so I'm holding back on those. There's cosmetic things you can do to it. I'm not that interested in the cosmetics of it. There's a couple of useful pieces, though, that I have printed out and added to my 3D printer that have helped, like basically knobs and guides, things for the filament going through and whatnot. So there's all of that. So really, I'm looking at buying more filament. Like I said about that rainbow one, I need to do some research, see if there's a better kind with it. It's all an experiment. And it's somewhat pricey, these experiments. Depends on how you look at it, but it's a hobby, and you've heard me say it before, hobbies cost money. So anyways, as the weeks go by and I get more confident in using the 3D printer and I learn more things about it, I'll share some of those results with you. And as I told you before, I have a couple of projects that I want to try, like the Eiffel Tower. Why am I stuck on the Eiffel Tower? I don't know, but it's a very intricate piece, and that's why I want to try it. Okay, because it's really going to help me fine-tune my 3D printing skills. Okay, enough about 3D printing. Let's move on to events in the past week. Update on my mother. We talked a little bit about my mother yesterday extensively, and I probably sound like a very bad son in those because of the frustration that I go through with my mother. And I mean, I'm not alone. Anybody who's got an elderly parent knows what those frustrations are. It's pretty much the same across the board. But anyway, so I'm not going to dwell on that. I'll just say my mom's good. She sounds good. I just sent an email off this morning before I started this to the administrator at her nursing home. They want, if you're going to deliver Christmas gifts to them, of course we can't go in and physically visit or anything like that. You can arrange to drop those off. I think they want them by the end of this week coming. And what they'll do is on Christmas Day, they'll make sure they get to all the residents. So that'll be nice for my mother. She'll get some gifts. My sister's already gone out and got those. And I also want to switch out her quilt that's been on her bed for 8 months. Don't know what state that's in, but you've heard me talk about that before, and switch it out with a nice clean one and everything, and bring the other one home. So I wrote an email this morning, and I think I may have a reply on my computer that I'll have to check after I'm finished this, to do this later in the week and get that all sorted out. I got a phone call from one of my mother's cousins who was trying to get a hold of her on the phone. Ha ha ha, we know how that works, don't we? And I had to explain to this cousin how my mother answers a phone. Well, she basically doesn't. Now, when I called my mother on Tuesday, I let her know that she had a cousin trying to get a hold of her. And she had plenty of excuses why she can't get to the phone. In fact, she got to the phone when I called her on Tuesday real quick. Well, it was because it wasn't her. One of the staff members happened to be in her room, I guess, when it rang, and they picked it up and gave it to my mother. So that worked out. I said to my mother, so you got servants now? She says, yes. Okay. So anyways, I've been looking for ways that she could have her remote, her phone, close to her when she's in her wheelchair. I have designed and bought several different things. None of them work because they're too awkward to get in, or you place them on a part of the wheelchair that she can't really reach. The wheelchairs just aren't designed to have anything more in them than the person. So anyways, if anybody else has some ideas or know of some things, I'm all ears about that. So she's fine. Now, we had an interesting situation this week. I had to go into my let's send emails to people that matter to get a wrong changed around, and that had to do with Wendys. Now, Walter went through the Wendys last Monday for lunch, picked us up some hamburgers, and he had a coupon, right? I mean, you got to have those coupons. So he went through the drive-through and brought it home. And that's fine. I had the bill for what he spent on that, because I look after all the finances in the house, and I do keep a close reckoning of our finances, always have. So that was fine and dandy. When I was doing my weekly finances, and I was checking out my MasterCard bill, because he paid with MasterCard. I mean, we don't pay with anything with cash anymore. I don't think I've used cash in 8 months. Everything's on plastic. I pay it off at the end of the week. Get points. Yay. I noticed there were 2 charges. One was for the Wendys, for the stuff we got, and the other was also from Wendys. Now, the weird part of this was, one charge was for $14.17, and the other charge was for $13.33, okay? The charge for $13.33, I knew about. What's this other charge? And it had the time, the date and the time of when those charges were made. And the one that was 1417 that we had not made happened 2 minutes before the charge for for the stuff we did pay for. I'm going, huh? So I said to Walter, here's something weird. Sometimes Walter leaves out information. Not on purpose, he just leaves it out. Apparently there was a little problem. When he went to pay for the order and he gave the coupon, the girl punched something in wrong in the cash register. And she got all flustered. Maybe she was a new employee, I don't know. And she was trying to correct it. Well, she supposedly canceled the wrong charge, and then she put in the right charge. But in the process of doing that, she did not give Walter, and Walter didn't ask for it, and really, I wouldn't have thought to ask for it either, for, a copy of the canceled charge. Well, the canceled charge did not go through. The girl, she wasn't doing anything deceitful or anything like that. She thought it had gone through, the reversal of it, and it hadn't, and that's why it was on my bill. Now, it was only for $14.17, and I thought, to complain about this, plus I don't have a copy of the canceled charge. I did have a copy of the bill for the charge that we did make. In fact, I had to fish it out of the garbage when I discovered all this. I thought, is it worth complaining about? And then I thought, yeah, it's the point. It's the point. So I immediately put in a dispute with MasterCard to have the charge reversed. Okay? But knowing MasterCard, that won't happen for months and months if it ever happens at all. So then I thought, I'm going to write to Wendy's head office about this. Because who else has this happened to before? And unlike me, they may not be as OCD about their finances and, never know that they got, charged for something they didn't get, kind of a deal. Can you find an email address for Wendy's head office in Canada? No. You can find a link that takes you to a form that you can fill out if you have a complaint. I wrote my explanation out very concisely in my word processor so I could just copy and paste it into that form. And also it's easier to edit and things like that. Well, yeah, their little box for the comment only allows for 500 characters. Not 500 words, 500 characters. So every letter is a character, every space is a character. So needless to say, my comment wouldn't go in there. And in 500 characters, try writing something that's 500 characters long that you have to, when you're trying to explain something. You can't do it. So this was frustrating. I did notice they had a chat on the side. Now, I'm a great fan of chats on websites because I find usually I get better service. I get somebody quicker than trying to call them on the phone and be on hold listening to music for hours. So I clicked on that. Well, yeah, there's not really a person there. It was just another one of these forms. Okay, frustrated city. So I went looking. I could find a phone number, a 1-800 number or 888 number that I could have called. But you know what you're going to get on that. You're going to go through 1,000 menus on there and you're never going to talk to a person. And they're never going to call you back. And I did notice that there was, while I was doing the search, that there were people who had commented about trying to put in a complaint to Wendys and how it was impossible to get a hold of anybody for this kind of thing. How frustrated they were. But I was persevered. So I finally found, actually what I did was I found they had a text number, a number you could text a message to. And I thought, I will try that. So I cut and paste into my texting feature on my phone my explanation, and I sent it off to them. Well, I got a reply back immediately, but it was an automatic one saying, thank you for contacting Wendys using our text, kind of a thing. And that was it said. And I thought, well, I'm never going to hear from them. So I guess we just forget about it. Surprise. About a few hours later, I got a text message from a person asking me about the problem. They had read it. They were very apologetic about it. They said, "Can we have your name, please?" Well, my name was in that. I thought, no, I guess it wouldn't have been in the message. That was my email that was in there. So yes, I gave my name. They said they would contact the manager of that particular Wendy's and they would get back to me. Thought, okay, that's nice. That's something. Will they really? Yes, they did. The next day, I got a phone call, a real phone call, not a text message, not an email, a landline phone call. No, it was on my cell phone, but whatever. A phone call from the manager of that Wendy's. He asked me, he said, I understand that you had a problem, and I said, so could you explain that to me again? He was very nice. And I said, yes, and so I explained it to him. And he said, he was very apologetic that that should have happened, and he said, if I could give him our mailing address, he would send out to me basically a coupon that would more than cover, he said, the $14.17. Okay, that's great. Fine, I don't have a problem with a coupon. Okay. I said, well, do you want to just email it to me? He says, no, it has to be actually physically sent by snail mail. So I gave him my address, and so we'll see what happens. That was the tail end of last week. See if I get anything this week in the mail. Who knows? With our mail system, I don't know. Now, the thing is, if I don't see anything in a reasonable amount of time, which I give it about a week or that, I will call up that Wendy's and say, hi, remember me? Kind of a thing, and just to make sure it got sent. You might think I'm being a little petty about something like this. $14.17 will not make me or break me. But, as I said, the reason I decided to do this was because they need to know that there's a problem with the way they train their employees. This girl obviously didn't know what she was doing. Maybe she's stupid. I don't know. But I have a feeling they don't get the training they need. And having worked in retail a little bit myself and using these boxes for, for your credit card or debit card and that kind of stuff, when you're first using them, they can be somewhat confusing. And, you need training on how to do it properly. So I don't know. So that's mainly why I did it, because I didn't want to have this problem again, and I didn't want somebody else to have the problem. But $14.17 is neither here nor there. But live and learn. So here's a lesson to be learned from this. If you ever do a transaction electronically and they have to cancel it, ask them for a paper copy of that cancellation. That's important to have. Okay, so that was what went on this week. There was excitement, right? And nothing else. Nope. Oh, there is a Wally Cooks. Yes. Last night. Now he did cook this, but it's French onion soup. He made it from scratch, but I don't have any video showing him making it because he made it several months ago and froze it. And last night he thawed it out and added some stuff to it. But I'm going to insert that right here, right now. So this week on Wally Cooks, we are having his homemade French onion soup. Now, he's had this frozen because he made the soup up some time ago. And so what goes into your homemade...
I don't know. I can't remember. Onions. I can't remember what was in the recipe.
Well, I don't know. Did you caramelize the onions first?
Yeah, I did. I caramelized the onions first. And
so you must have put them in...
I think I had some beef broth in it.
Butter, beef broth, a little sugar to caramelize? Or?
No, I can't remember.
Oh, you didn't put that. Okay, you don't remember. Well, that's really good.
Pepper. I can't remember.
Anyways, that's it. And then... you have done what here?
That's I have mozzarella and Gouda on top.
Ooh, 2 cheeses. Are they floating on a crusty piece of bread?
On crusty bread, yes.
Crusty bread. Now, did you make the bread?
Some of it, yeah.
Oh, some of it. So this bread that's in this basket, is this your bread?
Yeah, it's my homemade bread.
It's homemade bread. He does use a bread machine, but it's very good. He's been making a lot of that during COVID. So that's what's for dinner tonight with Wally Cooks. French onion soup with 2 kinds of cheese.
Well, I think there's some wine in the French onion soup too.
Oh, like when are we going to Florida?
White wine.
White wine. Okay. So that's
Wally Cooks.
Okay, so what's coming up? Well, I've already talked about the S&W Zoom special Christmas party. I have another Christmas party to go to. That's tonight, virtually. It's my guild. And supposedly we're going to be playing some games. So we'll see how this works out because they're using Zoom for this meeting as well. So that'll give me an idea of, what I can expect when we do our Zoom. We have these lovely little bags that have been delivered to us by some of the executive that are stuffed with scraps. And we were told we cannot open them until tonight because we're all going to open them at once. How exciting can this be? Scraps. Everybody's got scraps. I've got tons of scraps. Just what I need is another bag full of scraps. So I don't know. But maybe I'm thinking, depending on what these scraps look like, I might actually take these scraps over the next few months and make them into a scrappy quilt. And maybe that's the idea the person who came up with this idea has. Maybe it's going to become a challenge. Take those scraps and make them into something and then share them. Now that could be fun. That could be fun. So we'll see. I'm kind of looking forward to this party. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to have any alcoholic beverage. I might have a glass of wine while this is going on. They did provide us with a little packet of some fancy hot chocolate mix as well. I don't know. We'll see. I got to get into the festive mood. I've got something, well, I'll show you what I've got, which might be kind of fun. Let me just get it. Talk among yourselves again. Actually, I got one of these for Walter and one for me too. So I think I may wear this tonight. And might be wearing this come the S&W Christmas party as well. Now, you can wear it on your head, or as I said to Walter, if you want to have a little fun and change your Christmas party into an S&M Christmas party, you can always wear it this way too. So anyways, it's fun. Oh, and it does different things too. You push the button, you get a different one. You push it again, you get solid, and then it's off. Just fun. How much fun can you have for a couple of bucks from the dollar store? There you go. Okay, so that's what's coming up. And yeah, one other thing is coming up. A week from today is Walter and my anniversary. We have been together for 37 years. We actually have 2 anniversaries every year, but this is the one that's more significant to us. Our other anniversaries are actual wedding anniversary. We were married on July the 15th, 2005, legally. But we've been together come a week from today, 37 years. So I think on a Stephen and Walter Live, not the Christmas party one, but the week after that, we might talk a little bit about what it's like to be in a gay relationship for 37 years. Is it different from being in a straight relationship? Yeah, it is. Yeah, so I don't know. I just put it out there. But yep, 37 years. And they say the first 50 are the hardest. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to sign off here. I hope you have a good week. Stay healthy. Stay healthy. Okay, new word. I make them up all the time. Coming out my dictionary of blandisms. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Stay in. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.